It is Thursday, April 7th, 2022. This is Baseball Today on opening day. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. This is all presented to you by our friends over at MUGSY. MUGSY, the great fitting jeans, which I'll tell you about momentarily. But Plouffe, we have finally made it.
We made it. Long off season, a hard off season. I think that was MLB's design all along, was to get us to want this opening day so bad, and we all want it, and we're all gonna get it, Chris.
Yeah, I know. It's spread out over 2 days because of the weather issues. Some games got postponed from Thursday. Other teams were just scheduled to open on Friday. Does that suck as a player if you got to sit around and wait like an additional 24 hours or no?
Sometimes it's nice. You get like a little breather. Like say you're like in a snowy city or the weather's bad. Like you just kind of stay in the hotel room. You mentally prepare, then bam, you're on the next day. You know you're going to be cold, but you just got to deal with it, man.
Nice. Okay, let's get
deal
to
with it. Okay, don't complain about it.
All right, so there's not a full slate of games, but there's some interesting ones, including an AL West battle where we've got Houston traveling out to Anaheim. Astros are going to face Shohei on the mound, not to mention in the batter's box. So I want to know, look at your crystal ball and hit the fast forward button all the way to late September. Will the Halos be within 3 to 5 games of first place with about 2 weeks to go?
I really want them to be. If I go back to my TPP reference on our Talking Baseball channel, I think I gave them around like an 83, 84 win total. So if I stick to that, I don't think this is going to happen, the 3 to 5 games. Because I think the Astros and even the Mariners are going to be kind of there. But I watched them play against the Dodgers, and like I'm following some Angels fans on Twitter, and like they're pumping me up. They're drinking the Kool-Aid, and I kind of am too. So I'm going to say yes, they are going to be within 3 to 5
Hold on,
games.
you're not doing this based on a
season.
little meaningless 3-game series against the Dodgers.
It's the vibe, Chris. I like vibes. The Angels and their fans, even though Noah didn't say what we thought he said.
Yes.
Sorry, Noah. I did contest it a little bit. I'm believing in the vibe right now. Okay. And until that vibe is gone, I'm riding the train. I think they will be within 3 to 5 games. I still think the Astros are ahead of them. But I think the AL West is going to be like really fun to watch this year.
It will be. I agree with you because it's been a tough watch the last few years, although Seattle made it very interesting a season ago. Here's the deal. They only had 3 players log more than 114 games last year. Only 3. I mean, 114 games. That's like 3/4 of the season. And, 2 of the guys were not named Trout or Rendon. Trout played 36 games. Rendon played 58. I think as long as those guys are there hitting behind Shohei, it's a decent lineup now. You look at it and it ain't easy. It ain't easy to navigate through that thing. It feels top heavy, but it's not. I think there's some guys at the bottom of that lineup that can have some pop. And maybe this is just wishful thinking because this is the only sport where sometimes your best player doesn't make the playoffs. And that's tough. It never happens in the NBA, right? Never happens in the NBA. People say, well, what about
happened in the NFL? I'm thinking about that now.
No, because
not really.
Your best player's usually a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And those guys are always finding a way to get to the playoffs for the most part.
You're totally right. Baseball's tough, man.
It is tough.
That's what makes it beautiful.
Now, with that being said, if it does get to late September, and yes, it is only opening day, but I'm going to do some schedule watching for you already. They have 6 against Texas. They have 6 against Oakland and 1 series against Minnesota over those last 2 weeks. Come on, Halos, make that playoff push now. Too early to schedule watch?
No, I like that a lot, actually. Although Texas, we haven't even talked about them. And I have my past with them, but we could be talking about a competitive Texas team.
By the way, I did.
And Minnesota?
I asked somebody in baseball yesterday. I was like, I need a sneaky AL, like a Robbie Ray type coming out of nowhere. And he goes, John Gray. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, Colorado's John Gray? He's like, I'm telling you, dude, he's going to leave there. And his projectable numbers are so much better now that he's out of Colorado. I said, okay.
Yeah, he's in a big cavernous park down there. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Something to watch. All right, let's move on. The Mets will open in Washington. The Padres are out in Arizona. Which sub 500 team from a season ago do you believe in more in 2022? New York or San Diego?
This is a tough one. As I think if we're thinking DeGrom is there, I kind of think we don't know. I kind of think Mets. I like the additions they made, but the Padres continue to add. I love the move they made last night for Taylor Rogers. I'll say Padres. There's something about that team. I love the confidence factor, although both teams have that too. This is really tough. I think they're close, but I'm gonna lean Padres. I don't really have a good reason why.
Okay,
I stumbled through that whole answer.
I believe in both to make the playoffs. I think we're putting out graphically our predictions and our individual honors as well. But I have the Mets representing the National League in the World Series. I really just wanted to take a flyer. I thought it was nuts, in part because I thought I loved what they did at the beginning before the lockout in bringing in some what I like to call some glue guys, good dudes, right? Escobar, Marte's well-respected, Mark Canha, and then they solidified it by hiring Buck Showalter as their manager. And I felt like there weren't enough adults in the room last year. And it really surprised me that Francisco Lindor, A, did not play well, and B, had some missteps, I thought, with the way he handled things. And I don't think that's going to happen. And with all the bullshit that went on, and without having Jacob deGrom pitch after July 7th, they were still in this thing until the very end. I think now that you've added all those guys, plus Scherzer, plus the lineup's pretty damn good, I think, and Buck Showalter bringing it all together, I really think this team has a chance to do something special.
I believe in them too. You gave me two tough teams, and to be honest with you, I read the question the wrong way. I thought you wanted me to comment on the Padres or the Diamondbacks or the Nationals. I had a great answer for that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm sure we'll talk about them at least one day during baseball today this season.
Go Nationals. Juan Soto.
I know. Exactly. I'll be watching every time when 22's at the dish. Other than that, I'm not so sure.
Keibert Ruiz, too. I want to see what Keibert Ruiz does.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, listen, they've got, and there's no reason to take a crap on guys when they're getting an opportunity. It's just not fair. It's just that they're not where they were in 2019 when they were hoisting the piece of metal. I'm throwing up
a lot of people calling for
a
bounce back year from Patrick Corbin.
Yeah. Oh, well, he needs it. He needs it. He was not good last year. Not good. Once again, Baseball Today is presented to you by our friends over at MUGSY. They are the most comfortable men's jeans on the planet. They are built with proprietary stretch denim. So these jeans, they look stylish, but they feel like you're wearing sweatpants. I can attest to this. There are probably people that are listening or watching this right now that are shaped a little bit like me. One of my coaches in high school said, "Rose, we don't have baseball uniforms in pear size." He had a thick New York accent. George Johnston, shout out to my chem teacher. So I've always had an issue with jeans, right? I've always had to buy two different sizes of the same kind of jeans because I'm a little bit of a Dow Joneser. Sometimes my hips are really heavy, and at other times I've kind of slimmed down a little bit. Here with MUGSY, you don't have to do that. It's one size stretch all. So they are awesome. You throw them on, you feel good no matter where you are weight-wise. These things make you feel great. I put mine on, and I love the colors too. So go check them out. The color selection is just perfect. I've got like kind of a charcoal gray going. I'm taking it on my sexy time vacation with Michelle over the weekend. And I put them on the other day, and she's like, "Those look great on you." And I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." She goes, "Have you lost a little weight?" I was like, "No, like opposite, honey." So this is the way to go. Most damn comfortable jeans around. You're going to love the fit. You're going to love the color choices. So once again, mugsy.com. Use the code word today. You'll get 10% off your order. Thank you. Go do it.
You're on fire. You are on fire.
I'm just I like being able to tell people the truth. So everything that John Boy Media sends us, I am going to try, and I'm going to be honest with you. I love these things. Go
Did
get
Michelle
them.
really say that? That's all I'm asking.
Hell yeah. She's not up here right now, or else I would ask her to tell you
That's a great ad right there.
But it's true. I'm just telling you the truth. Let's get back to a little baseball. That Padres Twins trade did finally happen. Chris Paddock is finally on the move. He's not going to New York. He's going to Minnesota to go freeze his ass off for the first 3 weeks of the season. He's going there with Emilio Pagan. In return, Taylor Rogers, the left-handed reliever who's in a walk season, is going along with Brent Rooker, an outfielder, to San Diego. Who do you like to trade for more?
I like it more for the Padres because I think it's more immediate help. Although, the Twins are looking for starting pitching. They got two controllable guys, Paddock, a reclamation project, so they've been looking to trade Rogers since last year. Before the trade deadline, he hurt his finger, didn't pitch the rest of the year. So he's there. This guy can be he has been an elite closer. an all-star last year. He's going to go over there. We were talking about the Padres bullpen, and it is Robert Suarez, who is not like a strikeout guy, was, I guess, in line to get a bunch of saves for them, or these opportunities for saves. Now Taylor Rogers goes over there, and it's just supplements that bullpen. And I like that. In today's game, you have to have a bullpen. So I like it more for the Padres, although the Twins are getting exactly what they wanted, controllable pitchers. And maybe they can get something out of Paddock, because he has been talked about a ton by teams saying like, there's something there, we can figure it out. A lot of teams think they're smarter than other teams. And I think maybe we used to call that change of scenery. Now I think they really believe that they can tinker with the numbers and get him back to where he was when he first came up.
And when he first came up, he was having those great duels and the shit talking with Pete Alonso back and forth. Remember, he would show up in the cowboy gear and we called him the sheriff, and we loved the whole skit. Well, that doesn't happen when your ERA is like 5.
No, you can't.
He's got to get back.
Sheriff. Yeah.
He's kind of got to rediscover himself a little bit. And this is a great opportunity, because this is a team, Minnesota, that offensively you look at them and they can contend. Pitching wise, you look at them, they made I think a nice trade for Sonny Gray. What's Joe Ryan going to be? A few other guys in that rotation. Huh?
He's going to be a stud.
Well, we think so. We think so. But, what they've done is they traded for Joe Ryan. So these aren't homegrown guys. It's guys from other teams. And sometimes you do better that way. There are teams that maybe don't draft and develop in a certain area as well as they trade and develop. So we'll see if that works out for him. I'm rooting for Chris Paddock. I'd like to see him get back to where he was.
Me too. Me too.
Fun. But I love this trade for San Diego. Yeah. I love it. I know Rogers is in his last year, but he can pitch anywhere in a high leverage situation. Another lefty arm. I mean, Pomerantz has the flexor tendon. They were hoping that he would be that guy. Well, this is what Rogers can be. So good move, Padres.
This is another reason why I gave you Padres over the Mets. I just think that I know the Mets went all out during the offseason, had a great offseason, but the Padres are continuing to add, and they're not giving up any of their top prospects while doing it. CJ Abrams will be on the roster opening day. Preller has a way of getting things without giving up a lot. And apparently Kepler was going to be maybe traded for Myers if they took a lot of stuff was going on, but this is what ended up happening. And I do like it better for the Padres.
I do too. All right, the champs. We haven't talked about the Atlanta Braves. They open up at home against the Cincinnati Reds. Took Atlanta a while to get going. I don't think they were over 500 until early August. Didn't take over first place until 1 or 2 weeks later after that. Yes, we know that the NL East, in particular the Mets and the Phillies, feel improved. Any worries that the Braves will not win this division yet again?
I don't have any worries that they won't win the division for anything that they'll do. I think they're going to come out and do their thing. They're going to be there. The only thing that I think will stop them from winning the division is if one of these other teams, the Mets or the Phillies, just goes off. And that could very well happen. The Mets could be that team we think they are, and Scherzer could lead that rotation until DeGrom gets back. And then bam, here we are with the two-headed monster, and we could see the Mets just kind of roll through it. But I think the Braves are going to do exactly what we believe they're going to do. I think they're going to win like 93 games, 94 games, be that team. Because yes, Freeman's gone, but you the best pivot of the offseason right there, Freeman gone, Matt Olson right in there. And then you get Acuna back, who seems to be on a mission. He's looking good in spring training. He's kind of like, there was some stuff came out last night. He's on fire right now. Right. And I kind of like a fired up Acuna to go off. I think I picked him to be my MVP this year.
I think you did too.
Is that graphic coming out? So again, I think they're going to do their thing. The only thing that'll stop them from winning the NL East is if one of these other teams, the Phillies or the Mets, probably more the Mets, just goes off.
Well, they added to their bullpen with Kenley Jansen and Colin McHugh. I love both of those pickups for Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, they battled half the year without Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
He's coming back. That's trading for a top 5 player in the game whenever he does eventually come back. Yeah, that little story where somebody said he was on Instagram Live and it didn't get along with Freddie Freeman, was happy to see him go, and Freddie Freeman wouldn't give him the time of day and all that sort of stuff. Like, that was weird. And then Acuna came out and said, no, didn't say that. Wasn't me. That was weird.
I don't speak Spanish. There's been people who do speak Spanish that listen to the video and said that's kind of what you said, but sometimes there's a difference between like a language barrier where like things don't translate the right way. Maybe the tone doesn't come across the right way.
But if he did say it, if he said it in Spanish, then he knew what he was saying, right?
Sure, but there's just differences in cultures and ways that people think about things. So like I said, sometimes it doesn't translate. I've had many discussions about life with guys that come from, the Dominican or Venezuela, and things are just different. Yeah. And the way you talk about things is just different, and that's okay.
So with the exception of this, whatever this little thing is that we're talking about, people won't be talking about the champs. They won't be. They're going to be talking about the Mets, and they're going to be talking about the Phillies. And I think that the Braves, it might piss off the Braves fans because as the champs, you deserve to be talked about more than on the day than when you just get your rings. But I don't think it's going to bother the players. I think they're going to be like, great, let's just hang out back here, kick some ass, and I'll see you in October.
Do you know people from Georgia? They don't want to be bothered. They're down there sipping their sweet tea, enjoying their rings.
True. I lived in Atlanta for 3 years. You stop that now.
They want people to talk about them?
Yes, they do. They do. Every fan base, when you are the champions and for some reason they're not talking about you, then you're like, well, hold on. Everybody says, well, why aren't you talking about us? And I always say, well, we'll talk about you when you become the champs. Well, now they're the champs. I mean, listen, they're the third or fourth story on Baseball Today. Like, are we disrespecting them right now?
No, I'm not at all.
Should they have been the first thing we talked about today?
They're not always going to be the biggest story. This is a brand new season. Okay. They got to go out and do it again. Yeah. We can talk about what they did last year. We celebrated them. Trust me. I celebrated them. That's my team right there. It's a brand new season. The players are absolutely thinking that way. And the fans know too, like they got to go do it again. Cause just like that, you're not champ again. But again, I think they're okay with being in the weeds a little bit.
I agree. I think the players are. I think the organization is perfectly fine with that. I think the fan base wants a little more love, and I would understand that too.
They're gonna get it. They got the gold jerseys. Like
those are awesome.
Sweet. Oh,
I can't wait to see the rings.
Hey Braves, can I get one because I willed this into existence? I would love a jersey, please. Coach Trev on the back.
You know what? I think you deserve one.
Shout out Braves. Hook me up.
Shout out Braves.
Tag them.
Also, Baseball Today presented to you by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. You'll get 20% off and free shipping with the code word baseball today. Yeah.
Usually you give why you like this product. Can I give this one?
Please.
You can read the rest of the but I'm going to tell you something. We get a lot of different advertisers. Not a lot, but we've had quite a few. And they send us all stuff. We all try the product. The one product that is universally loved, like I hand stuff out to my friends and I want to hear feedback, Manscaped.
Mm-hmm.
Like the trimmer, all the stuff that comes along with it. The guys are like, I've never had something like this. It's universally loved. So go ahead.
It is because it's got so much versatility to it. First of all, you've got the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. I don't want to get into too much detail, but I told you earlier, I'm going on a nice sexy time trip with Michelle, celebrating a 25th anniversary. I got to get cleaned up. I am getting cleaned up. So I'm going to take care of business there. Also, one of the accoutrements of it is that it's got the ear and nose hair trimmer, the weed whacker, as I like to call it. Okay. Which is awesome. I don't have the biggest nose, but I've got the most amount of nose hair of anybody on the block. So I got to go clean that thing up, man. There's nothing like when you want to hang out with that someone special and they're looking at you and they start staring at your nose. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, go take care of that. I can't continue. So that's it. Take care of that before you have to use one of your timeouts. Also, we got the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant and Moisturizer, the Crop Reviver Spray-On Toner for your balls. It's all important stuff. Get yourself clean south of the equator. And there's one other, and this is serious. It's important because it is also April Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and Manscaped is actually partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness. Not sure if you knew this, but it is the most common form of cancer in men ages 15 to 35. So it's important that you check yourself when you're coming out of the shower or whatever. If you feel something, go see a doctor. We as men, sometimes we don't like to do it. Please do it because the life you might be saving is your very own. Once again, this is all about manscaped.com. Use the code word baseball today. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping. Got it handled. Let's get back to the baseball. Brewers and Cubs will get the season going on Thursday. You picked the Brewers to win it all. Their offense was average last season at best. Why do you believe in this team so much?
There's a couple different reasons. I'm a pitching snob, and I believe that their rotation is probably the best in baseball right now. I also believe in strong bullpens, and I believe that they have two of the best relievers in the game going for them. And plus, it's not just this top high-end talent. They have depth as well. Now, I understand about the offense, okay? A lot of this pick and this prediction is based on a couple things. One, Yelich coming back to form. I got to talk to him and feel his energy, and I know him as a person. The last couple of years that he's, struggled a little bit, doesn't bother him at all. He's continued to work. He'll be that guy. It's his 10th year in the big leagues. Just put out a banger of an Instagram post today about it. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling a comeback for him. Keston Hiura is another guy. A lot of people are talking about bounce back. I believe in Willy Adames to take a huge step forward again this year. I think he's going to be like a star in the game this year. I really do.
I agree.
Another big reason, and probably the biggest reason, because I know as presented right now, this lineup, I don't think is good enough to win the World Series, but I do believe in them to make a big mid-season addition. I believe it's going to be a couple different things. It's going to be on the offensive side. I think they're going to add to their pitching as well. Teams know when their window, like where their window is. Like this is kind of like right there for the Brewers. They are going to go all in. Go look at the payroll. Like they can afford to make some big, fancy, splashy moves. And they, what's good about them is I called them the Rays of the NL, the way this roster is constructed. But the difference is they're willing to go out and make one of those big moves at the trade deadline. So I believe that'll happen. And the vibe was right for me. I believe it's their time. They've been to the playoffs a bunch. They understand what it feels like to be defeated. And when teams are hungry like that and they have the pitching like this, it's just spidey senses, man. And that's right. That's how I ended up with them.
Okay. I have no problem with it. I have them winning the division. In fact, I don't think it's going to be close. I just don't have enough confidence in the Cardinals to rediscover. I mean, listen, they had to go on a 17-game winning streak last year to eke their way into the playoffs. And they did it. So I'm not going to take anything away from it. But with the exception of a remarkable 3.5-week run, they were okay. And I think the Flaherty issue is really bothersome for that franchise. So I believe in the Brewers winning this division. You said a couple of interesting things. They can add payroll in part because their starting rotation is very much like a NFL quarterback on his rookie deal. Like they are paying their top 3 pitchers nothing compared to the other elite starters, right? Yes. They got Freddie Peralta on a sweetheart of a team deal. Woodward and Burns.
Their entire pitching staff.
Yeah, they just don't make anything. And so it allows them to go fix other parts of their club, i.e. the offense, which still needs help. They're going to make some sort of trade. I actually would have thought that a guy like Jose Ramirez would have been a great fit for them. The problem is the Brewers minor league system is not good. So it's going to take a perfect match, meaning some teams either going to want to dump salary, which there are plenty of those squads out there, and there will be more after 2 months, I'm guessing. Or that they're just going to have to part with somebody that's a part of their major league team where they feel like, yeah, we're taking a chance, but we think that guy's going to help us more than the guy we've got. So we'll see. I believe that the Brewers are, because this is, what have the Brewers made it? 4 straight years or 5 straight, whatever it is in the playoffs. It's the best sustained run of playoff baseball this franchise has ever had. It's great in Milwaukee, great fan base, but they are waiting for the next step.
Yes.
They're waiting for the next step.
I know people are kind of like, oh, that's going to be a boring World Series. I mean, not most people understand that would be an amazing World Series, but people that say it wouldn't be, let me tell you why it would be. Have you ever seen Milwaukee in the playoffs? It's nuts.
The energy would be amazing. And can you imagine the blackout in Chicago? That would be
that. And they're close enough where there's like regional rivalry. It would be an incredible World Series, not to mention aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
I mean, those two unis together, my people, I love that too.
By the way, what'd you think of Brady's Forgotten Rotten on MLB The Show? Pretty good, right?
Nice. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, wasn't bad. Okay, last one. Phillies newcomer Nick Castellanos has reportedly purchased the pad of former Sixers disgruntled star Ben Simmons. Bad idea for Castellanos?
Not at all. Let me tell you something. My father does Ben Simmons pool in my neighborhood. So
What?
guess what? I'd hang out with my dad all the time. Look at me. I stay winning.
Wait a second.
There's no Ben Simmons curse, okay?
He does Ben Simmons pool?
Yeah.
How nice is it?
He's got like 2 pools. It's nice.
2 like big pools? Or is one in like a jacuzzi?
I'm not going to disclose so much information.
Why
okay?
not?
It's
You
against
don't
the
have to
pool.
give me the address.
It's against the pool man code, okay? It's nice
Bullshit.
pools.
Wait a second. There is not a pool man code.
Of course there is. Don't disrespect the code like that.
Does your dad still do pools with his shirt off?
No. He's a big, strong guy. You do not talk about my dad like that. He'll come over there and put you in a headlock.
Wait a second.
Man.
I'm just asking questions. I'm envious of him. Am I making fun of him? No.
He's great. He's the best at what he does.
Shit. We might be in the market for a new pool guy, by the way.
All right. Yeah, pay big bucks.
Oh, well then no. Our pool's not big enough to go do that. Yeah, you know what? It was funny because I saw a couple of Philly radio stations going nuts about this. How much they love Castellanos, they love what he brings, but man, what are you doing buying Ben Simmons' place? Like, if you mention Ben Simmons' name in Philadelphia, that's like mentioning a serial killer. Like, you just can't do it.
I did see the article you sent me, and there's a couple different Ben Simmons houses, and they're saying, did he buy this one or that one or both? Let me tell you, he could do whatever he wants. The guy's paid.
Yeah.
And Nick Castellanos, for Phillies fans out there, you are going to absolutely love this guy.
Love him. All right. Before we get out of here, what do you have coming up on John Boy Media?
We're going live today, or the boys are going live today to watch all the baseball games. I'll be calling in here and there. I'm sure you might do the same thing as well. So check that out. And then I guess we're doing a Talking Baseball tomorrow, but it won't be a full series recap. We'll just probably recap opening day or something like that.
Yeah, probably a mini version. I get it. Latest episode of the Chris Rose rotation is out with Austin Hedges, the catcher of the Cleveland Guardians. And the big announcement was he is the newest member of the Chris Rose rotation.
Nice.
Where I asked him on air and he kind of hung me out to dry for about 5 seconds and before saying yes. But the introductory clip of him is perfect encapsulation of what he's going to bring to the Rose rotation this year. I think it's great. We got another position player in here. I thought that was important, and to get a catcher because they're in the action so much. So
who's the rotation?
It's everybody else plus Hedges replacing Archie.
Okay.
So there you go. Everybody else.
Those guys got to run it back for season 2.
We're going to run it back. Those guys they were like, can I do it again? I was like,
yeah,
why not?
They'd be pissed if you fired them.
Oh, I would never do that. Those guys are volunteering their time, and I love hearing this. Like they're coming out either to throw in the bullpen or getting ready for the game. In Miguel Rojas's case, and they're like, we hear it from the crowd all the time. Love you on the Rose rotation.
Nice.
That's a big deal. So keep showering them with love whenever you see them at your.
I'll shower you with love, big boy.
No. I gave my World Series prediction. I think we put it out on a graphic. That's why I'm wearing my Toronto Blue Jays hat. For the first time since '93, they will be crowned true World Series champions.
Either way, Paul Molitor will be happy. Minor pick or your pick.
Oh, right. Good call. That's a great call. Very good. All right, man. We're back at it on Friday. We got real baseball. Enjoy the day, everybody. And also, don't forget to go get your MUGSY jeans, okay? It's that simple. It'll stretch your life in directions you never thought possible. Special shout out to our producer extraordinaire, the one and only Dan Rourke. That is T. Plouffe. I'm Chris Rose. We'll see you Friday on Baseball Today.